Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just
What is going on, crypto fam? Thanks for bearing with us. Of course, we had a little bit of audio issues on the front side here, but I am super excited to be here tonight, and we do have a very special guest. But welcome to the Crypto Nightcap. We're doing this every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're bringing you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use for tomorrow. That is the name of the game here. Like I said, I do have a very special guest. He is from Investing Bros. It is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Tshroom, as well as Detroit's own, my co-host, my homie, FD White. Let's go ahead and bring him up.
What's up? What's up? Good to see you.
What is up, Tshroom? How you doing, my man? Thank you for joining us tonight. It is an absolute pleasure. Like I said a couple days ago, you are actually one of my favorite guys in the space. Just a genuine good dude. So it is really, really nice to have you on. So I am going to open the floor up to you. Let you tell everybody who you are like they don't already know you, even though they do. Everybody in this chat, I'm pretty sure I've seen in your chat before, but that's all right. This is the opportunity to say hello and let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you guys want to follow me on my Telegram, just kidding. If you guys want to follow me over on the Investing Bros YouTube channel, that's where we're live daily and delivering most of the alpha, but we're also in Discord and on Twitter. I am at Tshroom. So it's the same words right here, just with the at symbol over on Twitter, formerly X.
Awesome. And I do have that down in the description below, both for Investing Bros and Tshroom's actual X account. So make it easy for you guys if you can't remember to just plug in the letters that are down there already. But again, thank you so much for joining us. FD, my dude, how are you? What's going on, man? How you doing today?
I can't complain, man. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Technical difficulties, but it's usually worth the wait, once we do start. So this should be a good show. Tshroom is not only one of your favorites in the space, he's one of my favorites too. So that'll be something that we can both agree on right there. So happy for him to be here, man. Tshroom, man. Thank you for coming on, and let's get to it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I can hear you loud and clear.
So, all right. So we do have one chink in our armor today. I'm going to let you guys know if it gets a little weird here and there.
I hear Tshroom. I hear you, Tshroom. Do you hear me?
We are good. Syncopatico.
Okay, so you guys can hear each other.
Contigo.
Yep. Yes,
Holy
sir.
moly. Where did that come from? Just I started the show and it worked?
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. All right. This is good news.
Little things.
I know, man. I'm actually super excited about that. Let's go over to the chat, say what's up to everybody. Because we had some technical issues, I didn't get a chance to get an X post out. So at some point, I will try to get that out because we do want to get some guys in here in the chat, get this thing flowing. But I see Bucks in here. He said he's here for the sexy pilot. My dude, he's my Marine. How you doing? Harp's in here. Let's see who we got. Username, as always, he's in the house. He's definitely one of
Nice.
your old faithful as well. I know I see him in the chat there all the time. I think he's one of your mods actually. So super cool having him in here. We got Wick589 and his lovely wife, Wick's wife, Fine89. She is one of our newest mods. So thank you for being here tonight. As always, Indie Rock Crypto in the house, Trade Intuition, my man Joe, Eric, Ballin, Wallen. He said, "Who's this Tshroom guy acting like you don't know?" He's one of the OGs. Who we got? Rolling down through here. Melissa with a good evening. How are you? Amy Lives Crypto, Tshroom with a bunch of orange hearts. So she is definitely one of the fam here. So we always send people her way as well. Her, Trade Intuition, we love them. And we love everybody in the chat, honestly. Let's be real about it. We got STL Coin. What's up to you? John Foster Crypto, how you doing? And Cash Oak and May Bay Band-Aid. Think that about wraps it up. So let's go ahead. We're going to get into a little bit of news. You guys know how we do it here. We don't get too crazy in depth with the news articles, but we do cover things that might have a little bit of an impact on the market and just maybe some overall macroeconomic type things. Retro Mike Tech in the house. He said, "Hello, beautiful people," and Tshroom too with a $9.99 super chat. Oh, yeah, there you go, man. We'll have to get Tshroom a drink on Retro Mike Tech there. So thank you very much, man. We appreciate you. He is definitely one that's been in here. He's been very supportive of our show. Very appreciative. He's actually started a little bit of a trend. So we have some friendly banner going back and forth with the morning show now. We say we are the #1 show on Piper Academy. So
Nice.
we love talking a little smack with Piper. All right, first up, let's go ahead and get over to the news. We got Trump selection odds rise to a record 30.1% against Kamala Harris, according to crypto platform Polymarket. And you'll see that in other places too. I saw that on the Kabisi letter as well, that it does seem as though Trump is starting to run away with this a little bit on the forecast metrics. So, I mean, it's very interesting because if you look at the polls, they are pretty much 50-50 split as well. But it's very interesting. It is something to take note of. I have mentioned this quite a few times that Trump does have at least some sort of policy. He is pro-crypto. Kamala, she said she's going to be open to it, but she really hasn't given us much to work with. So I'm hoping that does come out. And that's completely, unbiased opinion. Like, I would really, truly like her to have some kind of stance on crypto and kind of let us know how she feels, because I do think that has an impact. Now, I know, again, I've said it before, we are a small piece of the pie, but at the same time, it's something that matters and is relevant to us as a community. So would like her to kind of step up and, give us a little something. Throw us a bone, Scotty. We would definitely appreciate that. All right, next thing we got up is AVAX reveals Visa credit card for cryptocurrency payments. Now, I have been kind of bullish on AVAX recently. You guys know that. I've been talking a lot about it. And it's because they have a lot of good deals in place. For me, it was Matic. That was like kind of my thing. I called myself Captain Jack Matic. But now, they just, for whatever reason, it seems like they've been kind of suppressed. They are layer 2. So I know there's a lot of competition in that arena. So not really sure why Polygon Matic has taken such a big hit. But here nor there, they still have a lot of really great deals in place with people like Starbucks, a lot of major retail companies as well. And AVAX is going along that same route. So AVAX just seems to be making it work, though. And I will say that when I am moving funds around sometimes, AVAX is one of those blockchains that I actually use. And that's in addition to Solana. Solana is fast, it is cheap, but AVAX, sometimes I use that in a pinch as well. So let's go ahead and we'll go over to the trio cam. We will talk about the first two articles. Nothing too crazy, obviously, but Tshroom, man, what do you think about AVAX as a platform? What's kind of your feeling?
Well, I think it's great. I think it's extremely slept on this cycle. AVAX is a it's got a couple of different good narratives. It's both an L1 and it's kind of got the tokenization RWA narrative going. It also has quite an association and partnership with JP Morgan Chase and now with Visa, even more than it did before. And so, those are names that that I like to hear in this cycle, because it's the institutional cycle, and those are institutions, right? Do you hear those names around projects like Cardano? Unfortunately, you don't, right? Do you hear those names around projects like XRP? You used to, right? And maybe you still do, but there's a lot more questions than answers with those coins. With AVAX, I think it's the future. I think that there could be other coins that compete with it for market share, for sure. There will be. There's no doubt about that. Solana comes to mind. Ethereum comes to mind. However, I do think AVAX is prime. It's ready, and it's getting bought by Wall Street, right? And it's getting partnerships with Wall Street. Again, it's the institutional cycle. That's where I want to be. That's AVAX is great. I've got a very high percentage of my portfolios in AVAX.
Oh, nice. Good to know. FD, what's up, man? What are you thinking?
And we've been accumulating AVAX since $9, man. I've been bullish on AVAX since the last cycle. So 2 years ago, or deep in the bear market, I was telling my community like AVAX. And then in the bear market, I think they had like something where Ava Labs, which is the conglomerate of AVAX. They did something with Amazon, or if I'm not mistaken. So I haven't seen that one in the news recently, but I'm pretty sure, because I put an Instagram post out about a year and a half, 2 years ago. We were in the bear market. And also to add on to what Tshroom was saying, they also have a lot of gaming coming on board to AVAX. So that's another thing AVAX is going to, I think, excel in, especially if that game, a lot of people in the space think that gaming narrative is going to garner some attention soon. So I think AVAX is going to, it has, like you said, the RWA, the L1, and it has gaming. So it's like a trifecta of greatness. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I was waiting on someone to say it, man. The gaming part for me, that was my initial interest in AVAX. I know you guys, like, we've kind of talked a little bit here and there, but my big thing initially when I was getting into content creation, we'll say, is the utility. Let me find projects with utility. And for me, AVAX had that gaming narrative, and I was like, okay, I think this is going to be the big piece of utility that we find in blockchain technology quickly. I thought that was what really was going to come first. To my surprise, honestly, it really hasn't been the big push, but I think it's a matter of time before you see that aspect kind of really dominate in some of these like games where you can use real cryptocurrency inside of games. I think that it's a matter of time before we see that, and then it kind of translates between what's real and kind of the games. So and not to mention, like, you can play games on the blockchain and actually accumulate money that way, which is already out there. I know that there was a couple projects that have done quite well. What was the one that Axie Infinity? No, not Axie. It was like Axie. Yeah, it was Axie Infinity. That was doing really well, and then it fell off the face of the earth really fast.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool, man.
Before we keep going, man, username, he's a faithful, man. You didn't give me sharks with laser beams. Come on, TradeFly. We gotta give the people what they want.
To their heads.
There it is, username. That's for you, dog. All right. He's a needy one. We gotta keep him happy.
Sharks with laser beams. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got there, man. But it's like a thing now. Pretty much every time I go through the chat, I'm just like, I play that for him. It keeps him happy. So whatever we can do for the people. And then I do have, we're talking about gaming narratives. How about a little bit of this? God, that feels so good. The nostalgia. All right. I know you guys play that game. You had to have played that game when you were kids. All right. Well, next up, let's go over to a little DGen article. Nothing too crazy here, but hey, we love seeing stuff like this. A crypto trader turned $3K into $9 million with a meme coin. The massive 3000x return came from Nomogram, GNON. Don't really know much about it. But that is a Solana-based meme coin launched on October 17th. Let that sink in, people. That was like a week ago. So there you go. The gambling casino is still alive in cryptocurrency land. Figured I'd show that out, but you know what time it is. We got to bring on our fourth member of the show. You guys know who he is, Mr. Elmer Fudd. Sorry for the awkward pause there. My screen decided it wanted to scroll all by itself. So, two major stock companies, they got hit today pretty hard. You got Starbucks that fell as much as 10%, reporting its third consecutive quarterly drop in some store sales. So Starbucks not looking all that great. It looks like people are starting to finally trend away. But what you're seeing too is there are a lot of coffee companies, regional, smaller ones, smaller chains that are popping up, and they're giving them a run for their money. I got one locally where I live called Havana Savannah. And I tell you what, man, I love Havana Savannah, and I will pick that all day over Starbucks. They have like Cuban sandwiches and nice breakfast sandwiches. So got a couple things for the kids there. So that is our new joint, man. Starbucks has been kind of pushed out of my life. I got to be honest. So I think there's other options out there, and then people are probably scaling back a little bit. They're realizing like that bougie coffee, it ain't all necessarily worth it, right? It's very expensive for what you're getting. So there are cheaper routes. They make things like the espressos now that like give you a pretty nice cup of coffee in the morning, kind of that insta coffee, but a little bit better done. It puts that froth on the top. I'm not trying to shill them or anything, but it's good. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right. Also, McDonald's took a hit today. That crashed over 10%. They had a E. coli breakout today. So if you guys are invested in either one of those stocks, just wanted to throw that out there for you. There was some pullbacks, but it's McDonald's. So like we know this is only a temporary thing for McDonald's, right? Starbucks might be trending in the wrong direction. McDonald's, this might just be a quick little hit. So could be an opportunity for you guys to do a little research on McDonald's and see if that's something you might want to look at. But yeah, anything there you guys want to touch on or?
Yeah, go to my screen really quick.
All right. En route. Tshroom screen.
So this is McDonald's on the weekly chart, right?
Okay.
Mike puts it into a little bit of a different perspective, right?
Yeah.
I've been.
It looks good.
I am not looking to get an entry in McDonald's, but you're not going to find me even considering an entry in McDonald's probably until 300 again.
Yeah.
Right.
The structure is definitely there though. Like that is that's a bullish looking chart, higher highs, higher lows. So yeah, nice little pullback. Do a little fib retracement off of that. What we think might be the pivot point, and yeah, could be an opportunity there. So
yeah,
right on.
But it's just a snooze fest over in the stock market. This is only 25% up since its lows back here in July of this year. So.
Oh man, if you invest in that meme coin, you do that in a day. So
exactly.
Just saying. Throwing that out
true.
there. Let's go back over the trail cam real quick. I'm gonna run through the chat. We got a couple.
I got something to say about Starbucks, man. And I don't like Starbucks. I'm gonna just put it out there. I hate Starbucks because when it first started to become popular, it was good. You know, everything was okay. You know, the drinks were nice and full and plentiful. But then over the years, it was like 95% ice. So anytime I order like an iced coffee or something, they put like this much coffee in it and then just turn the machine on, just all ice. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I don't need all that ice in there. And then they charge you an arm and a leg. So yeah, man, take that stock down. Take it down.
Fair enough.
They're not good. They're not doing good in China either. They opened a lot of stores, I think, over in China. And with the China pulling back a lot and the consumer over in China starting to pull back a lot, I think that's hurting them as well too.
So one thing that
on a serious note,
I've noticed with a lot of the companies that like really try to like take over, they oversaturate the market, right? They get a little too ahead of themselves and they're like, all right, we're gonna have a Starbucks everywhere. I have probably 4 Starbucks in my town within probably a 10-mile radius. I have 4 Starbucks. Like that's a little much, guy. Like let's be honest. Like you don't need that many. I know that McDonald's does it by population, is my understanding. I don't know I'm not a franchise owner, but my understanding is that by population, they'll break up the radiuses that way. So, but I don't know. I mean, I just feel like they've saturated the market a little bit, and there's other competition. Like there's other things out there, especially some mom and pop places that a lot of times, to be honest, kind of a little better anyways. A little better, a little cheaper. So, yeah. That's that. But I'm gonna give a couple shout outs to a couple people in the chat here. I got Alex O Crypto in the house. What's up, my dude? He is definitely family as well. Rolling down here. I know I saw a couple of you. Seth Shepard, what's up, my guy? Thanks for coming in. And let's see, Army Piper's in the house. I'm already putting him to work, having him send out tweets for me. So appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing that for me. And then I know I saw someone else. I thought like XN or something like that. And then Clayt the Great. He's usually in here with a hootie hoo. I just want to say what's up to him. So he said AVAX for the win. Yeah, he's always talking about AVAX. So I know he is bullish on AVAX. Oh, all right. I think I got the shout outs in. I think it is time to roll into our market update. And then we're going to give the people what they want. We know they want the TA. So Tshroom, hope you're ready, man. I hope you're ready. I know you're the wizard of TA, right?
I can do some TA.
We'll talk about it on the backside. I'll run through a liquidation heat map. I'll go through Bitcoin, kind of just like highs, lows, very easy stuff. FD, I'll break something down. And then, yeah, man, actually, you wanted to talk about a project, right? Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, I can do that.
You know what? Dealer's
choice. I'm very dynamic. Whatever I can do whatever.
All right.
You know.
We'll run through it, and then when we get to Tshroom, it'll be a surprise for all of us. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
It's gonna be great. All right, so let's get over to the economic calendar here. First up, we got the economic calendar. That is October 25th. We got durable goods month over month. October 29th, you got the JOLTS job openings. October 30th, GDP growth rate. That's going to go. And then October 31st. So kind of a busy week next week. You got core PCE price index, personal income, personal spending, all month over month. That will be on the 30th or 31st. So keep a lookout for that. You guys know where I send you guys in the mornings there over to Piper Academy. See Piper. He is the man that's going to break it down. He's phenomenal with that stuff. So that's our show there for the morning show. And they go at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, total market cap, that is sitting at 2.32 trillion. That is down 0.43%. 24-hour trading volume is currently at 74.4 billion. That is down 11.37%. Bitcoin dominance is at 57.27%. So that is continuing on the rise. We just talked about that. Bitcoin dominance is moving to the upside. That is up 0.23% over the last day. And let's go over to the crypto bubbles. ApeCoin getting crushed. That is down 19.3%. That was a heck of a move it had. Not really surprised to see it retrace because we didn't get a lot of news on what was making that move. They had a conference. We do understand that. But like, what was the narrative that drove that price up so fast? I'm very interested to know why that
they released Ape Chain. And they released a couple other things, but 8chain I think was like the biggest thing that they released. So it's their own. Yep.
Okay. Right on. That's good to know because I was kind of curious, like why is it pumping so hard? But it is pulling back now. Not too terribly surprised because even with that, right? A lot of us still didn't know they didn't do a good job getting the message out there, I guess, because I wasn't tracking on that. But Beam is up 9.1%. SPX is up 9.5%. Popcat. There you go, FD. That's up 8.3%. CAS finally making a move. So I do want to look at the CAS chart because I have been talking about that stair step that we've been seeing with CAS. It was at a pretty critical support level, and I did talk about that. I want to say it was like last week or the week before on the morning show, I believe. But let's take a look see at that on the charts when we get there. In terms of things that are getting hit, Jasmy, Whiff, that's down 3.3, 3.9 respectively. Moog is down 6.8. Doge is down 3.3. Sui down 4.6. Phantom down 4.7. Nothing too crazy on the board, honestly. I mean, most of it's under 5%. So that's just another crypto day for us. You guys know that 5% moves aren't nothing. In the stock market, that's a big deal. Here, not so much. All right, over to the liquidation heat map. You can see it is heating up at about 69,750, 69.7. That makes a lot of sense here because we did get a nice rejection off about 69.6. So people are taking those leveraged short positions and probably setting their stop losses in that area as well. So it is heating up, but you can see over the past couple days here, it looks like really the last day, kind of going horizontal on us. All right, we're kind of establishing a little bit of a range. You do still have some liquidity to the bottom side. All right, so our last move, our entry was from the top side, right? So we're coming down, establish a range. Do not be surprised to see a wick down here clear out this liquidity before ultimately making a break. All right, so wick down and maybe a move back up. But let's go ahead and look at the chart and let's see what we got. Actually, let me just come back here real quick. That's at 66.5. So keep that in the back of our minds. You got about 69 and then 66.5. All right, so 66.5. Let's go ahead and find that on the chart here. That's right at about the 0.382 of this latest move. All right, so would not be surprised at all to see that. And then you can see we did have a couple hits of resistance here in that area as well. So would not be surprised to see a little bit of a bounce at about 65.4. Clears out liquidity and you get a bounce. What I'm not liking right now is that we had these trend lines that were very clearly established. All right, we're now underneath. It looks like we actually retested the intersection of that trend line, and it looks like it got rejected, right? So that ultimately could mean there could be a little downside in the future. So let's start, looking where can we go with price action. The next spot I'm going to be looking is here at the 382, and that's again kind of splitting the difference on these rejections here where there's resistance. So you got a little bit of a range, and then the liquidity. I think that's very much in play based on that. But we did talk about yesterday. If I'm actually going to look for a long entry, like for more of a swing trade, it's going to be down here, a little bit closer to about 63.4. Now, again, clarity, not saying price is going there, just saying where I would be interested in taking a higher capital long position, and that's right here, and that's based on the 200 SMA, the point of control for the entire range. All right, so you got the value area low, or the value area low, high, point of control. All right, and then you have the golden pocket. All right, so there's a lot of things that are lining up. What else is pushing up? You got a dynamic reactor, 50 SMA, and that's just getting tighter and tighter. The longer we extend this out, the tighter this gets and the more confluence we have in this area. So again, I do have an alert set that's at about 63.4. If price comes down there, I am definitely going to start looking at taking a long position there. That's my own play. That's what I'm looking at. Do your own thing. That's up to you. But looking at the oscillator, we are starting to bend down and right. So we're losing a bit of steam here, and it looks like it's still working its way down. Let's go ahead and look at the 4 hour real quick, just to look at the oscillator, see what it's telling us here. It did have a chance to reset. You did get a reversal on the 4 hour right at the 0.236, but we're getting squeezed. All right, getting squeezed by that trend line as well as the 0.236. If I was a betting man, I think that the 0.382 is in play just based on where that liquidity is. It's the closest alligator to the boat. Makes the maker and the exchanges a little bit happier to clear out some of that liquidity before we see a little bit of a move. And look, I mean, you got the dynamic reactor working up too, so keep an eye on that. That is important. That if we get a move down, you got the dynamic reactor working up. You can see that it has acted as support for this move, this latest move. I mean, it's back to September. All right, support did fall under just temporarily. Support again. Do not be surprised to see it act as support if it does come down to 65.4. So there's a couple key areas for you guys to look at. Again, do your own research. If it does break this area, obviously we'll look for that OC retest. You want to get over the 2021 high. That's a significant area, as well as kind of that, that new established range here up to about 69.5, we'll say. So OC retest, and you can look for that continuation when you start talking all-time highs again. Until we break that area, we don't even talk about it. And then the bottom side, you still have that channel. I'll keep that one quick. That's going to be somewhere around 56.3 in that range there. But weekly close under that changes our whole narrative. Till then, overall macro trend is still up and right. You do have some of these smaller trends to take into consideration. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Short, sweet. Over to FD. Let's see what you got, man.
All right, let me unmute myself. Cool. So I'm just looking at Ethereum. So probably about 11 days ago, we had those two scenarios coming out of this symmetrical triangle that we had started all the way back at the beginning of September. So it decided to break out to the upside. We hit our target in this red bar at about 727.50. So, I mean, what I'm looking at right now is we lost this. I was hoping we kept up with this upper sloping trend line that I was looking at. Just some simple TA coming in. This upper sloping trend line. Lost that. If we zoom into the hourly, we can see a perfect retest. Things like these are just so simple. Simple TA, perfect retest. Now we're starting to go down. Let's go back to the 4 hour. So my next areas that I want to look at is possibly if we continue to come down that 2,500 to 2,550 area. And even if I stop here or pull a fib from here, let's see if that, I haven't even pulled. So yeah, that'll come in confluence with the 0.5 or 618. It'll be a little bit under there, about 2,500. So for Ethereum, we have been lagging pretty much all since the ETF came out, we also had the 100-day SMA coming down. So we had a bunch of levels of confluence coming in to go for a short, but we didn't call for that. We've been waiting to see what Ethereum is going to play out to do. So in my trading thesis, my trading plan, I wait for these big areas. So if we do, come down to this area at about 2550 to 2500, I'll be looking at my oscillators and see what's coming, see how it's coming in. We do have the 50-day coming up. So just depending on how long this move or how long this area of interest stays or how long we play out in this area to see if we come down or come back up. So, I mean, just for Ethereum, it's just really that simple. We may pop back up. What was something I was looking at? Was it on the hourly? Let me see here. Nope, must not have been that. 15. Nope, let me go back to the hourly. So yeah, I'm just really looking at that. We do have this area here, like I said, at about 2680. That if we come back up here, we also have the bottom side of the upper sloping trend line that we were holding. So that'll be another good area of confluence or a good area of and we have, like I said, the 100-day. So that'll be three areas that I'll be looking to short with those three confluences. But I really wanted to look at this DXY. The market has been moving up. Bitcoin has been moving up with the DXY, but the DXY has been ripping. Like if we've been paying attention to it, if you've been paying attention to it, and if you pull out the 100, I mean the 50, the 100, and the 200 SMA, like look at the support. Perfect support popped up. Bull flag popped up. Held this area here at 102.79. Remember we were talking about that. Popped up. Held the 100. Popped up. Got rejected from the 200. Broke back up. Zoom in, perfect retest of this 200-day SMA. So now it's looking like we're going to about 104.50. So this may put a little bit of added pressure on, these assets, these risk assets like Bitcoin or whatnot. But that's just something else that I want to keep on my radar. I usually, do that in confluence with the NASDAQ, DXY, and then just, putting all that into confluence with how I want to trade. So if this continues up and then we go back to Ethereum, and if Ethereum does proceed to pop back up with the 1, 2, and then we have the 100-day SMA coming down, three areas of resistance coming in. That'll be one of my areas that I'll be looking to short for Ethereum. Just a nice little short, probably back down to this 2550. So that'll be let's see, that's probably something like a 4.5 to 5% move. So, a few percentage points of leverage on there, and then that's a pretty good trade. And Ethereum has been respecting these levels. If you have these levels drawn out that we've been talking about over the Nightcap for the past possibly like 1 or 2 months, these levels shouldn't be new to you. So these have been respected. So just keep watching out for those for Ethereum. Hopefully Ethereum can start to gain some momentum back against Bitcoin. But what I want to see is Bitcoin to continue up, Bitcoin dominance to continue up. We can't get a real season because this Bitcoin dominance keep rolling over too early. I want to see 61, 62, 63, and then we can get some type of rollover. We can get some type of all-time high for Bitcoin, and then we can get some, a nice alt season. We can't, the market is weird right now. We can't get a proper altcoin season without Bitcoin dominance, bringing liquidity into the market and then rolling over and, pumping it into these altcoins. So that's another thing that I'm looking at.
All right, right on. Tshroom, you are the next contestant on The Price is Right. Let's see what you got for the people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So head over to my screen. I'm going to tell a couple of different stories here. I'm going to say coin to be weary of if you're in it is Arweave. I'm going to show you why, and then I'm going to tell you a couple of coins that I think are pretty good buys here, good value crypto projects that I'm looking at and saying, wow, this is a pretty good discount. May not be a bad time to either DCA or potentially take a trade to the upside. So Arweave, not looking too good here. It's still number 62, so it's still in the top 100. At least on market cap. But if you look over here, one thing that you can do is you can customize the amount of time for the price change. So what I have up is the 90-day and the 60-day. And as you can see here on the 90-day, Arweave is actually number 3 down for crypto. You have Notcoin and you have Maker. So, Maker's kind of doing its own thing. It's got a weird VC story. Notcoin is basically a meme coin of Toncoin. So expect hyper volatility there. That's not a huge surprise to see it there. But if you click the 60-day, you get a reshuffle of coins, right? So you see Polygon, and its sister, the new Matic, whatever PR disaster that is, and then you have Maker back here. But Arweave is number 5 on this list, so it's down on the 90 and the 60 day, right? So not a good look. And if we take a look at Arweave's price chart, you see it is not just flat, it is down, right? So I'm going to compare this to a couple other names, but as you can see here, this is just, it doesn't look good. Drawing it here, kind of draw it in there. It's a down slope, right? From this low down here, putting in lower lows. You want to see the opposite. You want to see higher lows. So to compare that to a couple of other names here, let's look at not Caspa quite yet. I want to look at Caspa. Let's look at Compound. See, Compound is flat, but it's slowly but steadily putting in higher lows here, right? And if you count that wick, it's a looks like a pretty nice movement to the upside. If we look at and that's one of my buys, right? I like Compound here. They did have an issue with their website. Their website was hacked, but it did not compromise the actual protocol. This is a pretty solid old DeFi blockchain, and it's also available on Robinhood. So it's got that normie adoption potential and the stamp of regulatory approval from Robinhood's legal team. So let's keep looking here. Compare it to Stacks as well. Again, kind of painting a picture that Arweave may not be performing the way that investors who are bullish on it were anticipating. Look at this. Stacks making nice higher highs in the higher lows and higher highs in the same time. Again, so the last one I'll compare it to here is Ondo. Ondo looks good, right in line with the rest of them, putting in higher lows and also putting in higher highs. So the real question is, why is this not happening for Arweave, for AR? And I don't have an answer for you other than people aren't buying it as much as they're selling it, right? So it's flat and it doesn't look good. That's my take on it. If you're sitting on a big bag of Arweave, you may want to think about, what your conviction is. What is your conviction? Is it AI? Is it, file storage? What is your thought there? Is that still relevant? Because it doesn't look like the market's picking that up. Now, if we fast forward to January, fast forward to February, does it get a nice boost with the rest of crypto? I think it does, right? However, it's not performing right now. Now I want to compare that to, and I'm going to compare that to Caspa, right? Which has a completely different price chart, different price like formation than all of these, because when Arweave is flat and down, like Caspa is actually putting in lower lows here consistently, and then also putting in lower highs as well, right? In a similar period of time, that other coins like Ondo is putting, having this formation, and Stacks is having this formation, Compound having this formation. Let's look at the king of altcoins here, Ethereum, really quick, just to get a little bit of a scale as well. So very much setting the mood for what altcoins do. A lot of following suit. Caspa and Arweave not. But I'm going to flip the script, right? With Caspa was the top performing asset in 2023, right? In my opinion, I think that Caspa is just not very well correlated with the rest of crypto, and it makes sense why. It's because it's like a proof of work chain, right? It has the mining backend. It has a lot of different considerations with energy. If I'm a miner, should I switch from Caspa back to Bitcoin? Should I try Ravencoin? Should I try Litecoin? All these different proof of work chains. And so that is why I think we're seeing some capitulation, some lower lows, some higher lows. I'm sorry, lower lows and lower highs. And overall, I'm not bearish on Caspa at all. I'm thinking that this is actually a pretty good place to pick up some Caspa here at $13 and $13 135. So that's kind of where I'm looking at it. If you look at the price formation overall, the price structure and the history for Caspa, look from 2023, right? We are up 3,000% to the all-time highs, up 4,691%, right? So, could there be something going on with Caspa that the rest of the world doesn't know? and that all of these investors that sold the top here and have gotten out, around 20 and below, is it possible that they know something the rest of the market doesn't know? Absolutely, right? This could be a bad project to buy at this point in time. I don't think it is. I think it's a great project. It's at a 35% discount to its all-time high, and we still haven't been in altcoin season yet, right? So this is one that I'm continuing to think is very, very bullish, and that I think that once it gets its mojo back, it is going to do very well. And by the way, yeah, I'm zoomed out further than Ethereum and Ondo and Stacks, but these are higher lows, right? Until we get down to sub 10 cents, we are still seeing higher lows for Caspa in the year 2024. So that's my analysis there. I don't do a lot of TA, but when I do, it's a lot less in depth. It's more macro comparison, kind of narrative comparison, and just kind of seeing rotation. Right now, one of the most bullish charts that I showed is actually Stacks. You see just how aggressively those higher lows are coming in. That's showing a lot of really good adoption, a lot of buying pressure in there compared to your king of altcoins. Oh, that's Ethereum dominance. Ethereum, right? Which is slightly less aggressively getting bought. So I'm also extremely bullish on Ethereum. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Ethereum right now. There's only 2 coins with an ETF, right? There's only 2 coins that can potentially get exposure to that big 401k wallet that's sitting there in America waiting to allocate into crypto. Once they get filled up on Bitcoin, right? And once Bitcoin's dominance starts to roll over and put in new lows, what do you think they're going to buy? Do you think they're realistically going to transfer their 401k onto Coinbase and try to buy Solana? Or do you think they're just going to flip it over and buy the Ethereum ETF, right? So do not sleep on Ethereum. If you have no Ethereum, check yourself, especially if you're holding Arweave.
Right on, man. Well, I appreciate it. So I am going to piggyback you a little bit on the cast, right? That there's something there that I want to talk to you about. You did actually hit it. So I'm just going to kind of touch on it real quick here. Let me see. There we go. All right. What I want you guys to see on this, and it piggybacks the series of higher lows when Tshroom was kind of zooming out, right? But when you do a fib from bottom all the way to all-time high,
Oh, wow.
all right, check it out. Golden pocket, 0.5, 0.382. That's where we're at right now. I almost played this the other day. Not only that is you have the trend line that's going up and right. So you had confluence between the 382 as well as that series of higher lows that Tshroom was talking about. All right. So it could be an opportunity. We've already had a 5% move off of that area just from like a day or two ago. I think it was only a day ago. All right. So, even a short-term play, like even if you don't have conviction that this is going to continue to go up and right, because this is a very healthy looking chart. This is a very, very nice short. There's trends within trends always, right? You do have that series of lower highs, lower lows on the short term, but in the long term, this looks good. Remember, you had it here. Series of lower lows, lower highs, you had it here. Lower lows, lower highs. All right, so for this to continue to cool off and then go back up is a little bit of like gambling, saying, hey, this is going to play out again for a third time. Maybe, but so far so good, right? It hasn't given us any indication that we're doing something different. You'll see these little series of the dynamic reactor cooling off again, cools off a little bit, gets under the 200 for a second, gets under 200. But where could you go in the short term? All right, so in the short term, I mean, for it to go up to the 200 SMA, that's not weird. That's not weird at all. See a rejection, but you get an 11% move up to that area before you see a rejection. So again, do your own research. You guys do your own thing. That's 11% from current price, not from here at the 382 where it should have been the entry. All right.
I've got a question for you, TradeFly,
yeah,
when
what you got?
you're done.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to pose a question fundamentally for Caspa, because the price. Do you agree that the price structure on the daily and especially and zooming out, like within the last 3 months, it looks very different from Ethereum and many of the alts?
Very
Would
much.
you agree?
Yeah.
What do you accredit that to?
I think there's just been a lot of hype, we'll say, behind Caspa. All right. A lot of people have been talking about it. It has brought retail into Caspa, I would say, quite a bit. Like I didn't know much about Caspa until I heard you guys talk about it. And then, I kept hearing more and more content creators talking about it, and I was like, let me look into this. But I mean, it does have we'll say, a solid foundation. They do portray as though they are going about this the right way. It's obvious, like we can never know the true like background details, right? Because I would hate to be like, oh, it's a great project, it's awesome, it's the best, I believe in it through and through. Because how many times have we been rugged by projects like that where you think it's something great and it turns out that like it was the shadiest stuff going on in the background ever. So I will take it, just I I don't get too wrapped around the fundamentals, to be honest
Sure.
with you. I know a lot of people do, but I actually stick more with the charts. Now, I will look at macroeconomic news and those effects, or just something like, hey, if some news comes out in relation to a project or a token itself, I will take that into consideration of why it's driving price action. But other than that, like I'm not super in depth or spun up. I am not the crux of crypto of the deep dives. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? But that's a factor for me, right? Crux has done a deep dive on Caspa and he has very good things to say about Caspa. He believes in Caspa, which helps me feel, as though that my sentiment was saying this structure might hold up price action wise. I would say the odds are in my favor, right? But that's all we can do. We're taking a statistical probability, trying to, put it in our favor and beat the house, because, when it comes down to it, it's still an element of gambling, right? We really don't know where this thing's going to go. So,
For sure. For
yeah,
sure.
man. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Long story short, I don't really know how I feel about the fundamentals besides, I've heard a lot of people say good things.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Agree.
Do you have a strong feeling or conviction about Caspa or
Well, I mean, my theory that I kind of threw out there was, well, it's a proof of work coin, right?
right?
So it has different dynamics than all these proof of stakes. And, you have heard, I think there was a headline that Marathon was mining Caspa, and
Yeah,
so
that
there's
crushed
different.
me, by the way. I lost
Why?
thousands.
Why?
I bought a mining rig at the exact wrong time, literally weeks before Marathon entered the mining market. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, that hurt.
So this was back in the day, or this was recently?
That was recent. It's
Okay.
probably like 7, 8, or no, not that long ago. Maybe 5 or 6 months ago.
So you lost thousands because the value of the miner itself
It's not. Yeah,
appreciated.
it costs as much to like run the rig as it
Oh,
does like of what it's actually mining. Yeah.
yeah. The mining world is no longer a retail opportunity, in my opinion.
No.
There's some ways you can still do it, but yeah. So yeah, that's my thought. Is it looks very different because there's a lot different buyers. Excuse me. There's a lot different sellers and buyers than in the big RWA narrative that's hot right now. The AVAX, Chainlink, Bitcoin, Ethereum, like just the top coins. Like it's kind of whistling to its own tune, right?
Yeah.
It's trading by itself in a way. So that can be riskier, right? Because it's not as easy just to kind of go along, especially if you're trading like real low time frames, like the 5 and the 1 minute, like that. You can sometimes just rely on whatever Ethereum's doing, like it's going to happen with your coin too. So you have to be careful. But yeah, I think it's that. I think it's just, buyers have a different incentive than the average crypto retail whale, and then all the sucker fish that are going along with those whales per coin. I think Caspa it has bigger bigger wallets, that are buying and selling after big mining periods. And then, so anyway, we've talked a lot about Caspa. I'm bullish on it. Not because I think that it's going to be the biggest and best coin of the future, but because when retail comes into the space, they're going to say, oh, one of the first things they're going to be educated on is the difference between proof of work and proof of stake, right? Caspa is one of only a handful of relevant coins that are proof of work other than Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's going to be a very shallow take for a bunch of shallow retail traders when they come in, and investors. So I think Caspa is going to do well in that euphoria phase. It's also a big influencer coin. Influencers love Caspa because it did so well in 2023. It made a lot of people very rich,
Yeah.
and so I don't think people are giving up on it. And it after all, it kind of does have this big promise that it has, kind of like Ethereum, with all the upgrades it's had, that building that hype, building that anticipation really plays off. pays off, and Caspa still has the opportunity to be the first proof of work with smart contracts, right? And that if they can pull that off, like that could not only be big for a big payday for investors, but that could be really big just for technology in general, for the evolution of blockchain. Which in the case of Caspa, it's a block DAG, it's not a blockchain. So
Yeah.
but for encrypted cryptocurrencies, right? So could be very, very big. Yeah.
I'm praying it does, man. I'm gonna have a lot of Caspa sitting on the side. So hopefully price goes up. Hopefully Coinbase will list them. You know, I got big hopes and dreams that I can get some of my money back. Special shout out here to Alex O Crypto Man with a $5 Canadian super chat. He said, "Thanks Tshroom for being my first collab ever. Appreciate you and happy for your growth. Much love to you all tonight." So Alex O,
show.
he is the man. Great dude. All right, FD, you got anything else you want to go over for the people, or you want to wrap this
Yeah,
up?
really quick.
Okay.
Really quick, so we
Let's
can get
see.
up out of here.
Let's see what you
Sui.
got.
So Sui was the talk of the town. You know, a couple weeks ago.
Now it's
A lot
Pooey.
of people started. Yeah, a lot of people started to forget about it. So, so we did have a lot. I don't know if you heard, but we did have some FUD that the Sui Foundation and some of the top investors who got in early were dumping. Once we got that high. But I think I'm still bullish on Sui. I'm still bullish. So what I'm looking at right now is, I mean, we made these higher highs, these higher lows, all the way from the beginning of September. And we just finally broke structure. We haven't made a lower high yet, but we are sitting on this nice macro support at about $1.90 to $1.90 to about $2. So it's two areas that I'm really, really looking at to take. I'm not really investing in it, but I will. How do I want to say this? I will take a nice swing trade and hold it, for the duration of the bull run if I can get one of these two entries. So my first entry would be this area here. So we got the one. I'm loving my moving averages as of late. So we got the 100, we got the 50, and we got the 200 all below. We do have the 50 coming up in confluence with my green area here at about $1.50. We have the 100 coming up, and then we have the 200 that start creeping up a little bit of time. But that's the area that I'm looking at. I can even pull a fib from probably this low. Let's see what that's looking like. Boom, where does that come in? Golden pocket 618. So that's the area that's my mega load up swing trade long area right there. So that's coming in, like I said, at about, we'll say about $1.40 to $1.50. My next bullish, and I love these setups. These setups work, they work for me all the time. So if we have a long standing upward sloping trend line, we're making these higher highs and these higher lows, and we start to break that structure. Let me get my my drawing tool here. So we came up, broke this. If we can seem to reclaim this, oh yeah, it's gonna be off to the races. It's gonna be off to the race. So that's my second highest conviction trade when it comes to Sui. So those are just two. Keep these on your radar because I'm telling you, one of these two scenarios is probably gonna play out. And these are my two highest conviction plays for Sui. And we saw how Sui ran. So Sui has that narrative behind it already. These coins have these, they get the fire behind them, and then they cool off for a minute, and then the fire comes back, and then it's like, dang, why didn't I do it? I've seen how I ran the first time. Why didn't I jump on it? So this is your opportunity, I think, especially if we come back down to this $1.40, $1.50 area. I think that'll be a excuse me, a great opportunity to load up on Sui, even if it's spot. But I'm definitely going to do a leverage swing trade if we come down there. And then, like I said, my scenario two, if this does happen, is a reclaim of this long-standing upward sloping trend line. And then I think it'll be off to the races. So if Bitcoin proceeds to, stay bullish and get all-time, go to all-time highs, Bitcoin dominance goes up, and then, we roll over, Bitcoin dominance roll over while price stays stagnant, this scenario will probably play out, and then, like I said, it'll be off to the races. So keep an eye on this chart. Remember, I said this for Sui, because Sui will, you'll reap the rewards if that does play out. So that's just what I'm looking at.
Right on, man. Appreciate it.
I've got a couple more points here.
Okay.
We have time?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So back on my chart, I wanted to just show you all something. So this is the Bitcoin chart. Oops, you're very familiar with Bitcoin chart here, right? And the big thing that I want to point out, this is Bitcoin USD, is we've had higher lower lows until now. Right now, we're getting higher lows.
Correct.
A hallmark of a reversal in this mega trend that we've been in, if you can call multi-month mega. This is not only a break in downtrend for Bitcoin to USD, it's also a break in downtrend for Bitcoin to gold as well. So what you'll notice though is that it's not coming up and testing the highs quite yet. That's a great line, isn't it? But it is going ahead and putting in higher lows against gold, which, as we know, is at all-time highs, right? So it takes a good bit to be making gains on a coin on gold that's putting in all-time highs. Same thing against the stock market, right? Seeing lower highs, lower lows until now, where you're actually seeing 2 consecutive higher lows. So very bullish for Bitcoin. Now, you know that I come locked and loaded with a factoid of the day, hitting it with you quick. You weren't ready for this one.
No.
How long does the night last on the planet Venus? Is it A, 12 hours, 24, 58, or 243 days? So some of these are hours, some of these are days. So be careful.
Holy
I'm
moly.
gonna go 243.
I'm
Okay.
gonna be on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. I'm gonna go 12.
Gonna go 12. So the same as Earth. All right. Or similar to Earth. Here we go. I don't have a drum roll, but the answer, FD's got it. 243 days. Venus has the longest rotation period of any planet, causing extremely long nights. And obviously, I brought this up because it's the Nightcap show. And the question would be, do you guys think you could do a 243-day long live stream? Because if you run Venus, it's going to be a very, very long live stream.
The way my kids are set up, man, it wouldn't happen, man. I'm surprised they're not doing backwards flips and karate slamming each other right now, man.
Dude, we hear sometimes full on WWE matches going on, man. It's epic.
Nice.
I
Very
love
cool.
it.
Yeah, well, this was awesome. This was great.
Yeah, man, we really appreciate you coming on, dude. Truly, an honor to have you on. You guys are doing phenomenal over with Investing Bros. I remember you guys starting the channel when you decided to start it, man. So it's awesome watching you guys grow. Super happy for you, and couldn't happen to a better guy. So again, you are, like I said, one of my favorite guys in the space. So
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate that, you saying that. And for the next 45 minutes, I really want to kind of dive into what it means to be an influencer in the space. Just kidding. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm really bullish here. Really bullish. You don't get up on gold in the stock market at the same time without there being some reversal here. Obviously, we're very close up to the elections. I think that's going to be a huge catalyst. In fact, I don't think we see 70K or north of 70K until after the elections. That's a little hunch I've got for Bitcoin.
right on. Cool. I am gonna shield a couple things real quick here. Billy Goat Tales. If you guys want to hop on over there, they are having their Tuesday night space that they normally have. They have Risk Game Co. in right now, so looks like they got about 36 people in the space. So go check them out afterwards. We love those guys. They are part of the family. Tshroom, seen him over there as well. FD, seen him over there. I mean, we all pretty much go over there at some point or another. We do truly love those dudes. Tshroom's account here on X. This is what it looks like. Again, that's going to be.
Please go follow me, please.
Give him some love. Give him some love here. That is going to be literally just Tshroom. So should be super simple for you guys to find. But yeah, go over there. Give them a follow. We would appreciate that. And we are going to wrap this one up. Again, Tshroom, thanks you so much for being here. FD, my man, it's always a pleasure. And if you're in the chat right now, I see the chat rumbling that you guys are slacking on hitting that like button. Show us some love. We are bringing you guys some alpha. We're bringing you some great guests. We had Nick Cypher on, aka Flopping Groper, yesterday. We brought CVO Crypto on. I mean, we're bringing you some top tier guests, honestly. And so if you guys are enjoying it, show a little love back and smash that like. We would appreciate that. And subs are good too. But with that being said, we're going to get out of here. You guys trade safe, be safe, and we will see you tomorrow. We're out of here.
Welcome to the Nightcap, your TA home. Everybody knows we trade in them zones. Late night, no sleep, yeah, we keep it real. Crypto moves fast, no time for the feels. TradeFly rocking charts, he about to take flight. Crypto Nightcap, where the dark meets the bright. This path ain't cheap, you can dream while you sleep. Steady building wealth, invest in yourself. Breaking it down, good vibes in sight. The makers in tight, adjusting my sight. It's all or nothing, this is how we attack. Get your head right, it's a Crypto Nightcap.